So today is a big one. We'll be handling pronoun demonstrative, that is demonstrative pronouns in French. Demonstrative pronouns indicate which person, people, or things we are specifically talking about. So we have two categories of demonstrative pronouns. We have the variable demonstrative pronouns and the invariable demonstrative pronouns. So we'll be starting with the variable demonstrative pronouns. After that, we'll move to the invariable demonstrative pronouns. Variable demonstrative pronouns. So these pronouns are known to be anaphoric. That is, they take reference from a preceding sentence or clause to form a meaning. Therefore, they can't stand on their own. So at the right, you see the variable demonstrative pronouns. Celui, celle, CEUX, and CELLES. They are variable because they change depending on the gender of the noun that they are replacing. As you can see, celui here is the masculine version of this. Celle is for feminine nouns. CEUX is for masculine plural nouns. It's the plural variant of celui.
Whereas cell is the singular variant of cell over here, and vice versa.
So we'll start with celui. Let's look at this sentence. Au Nigeria, il y a 36 villes. Celui qui est le plus développé est la ville de Lagos. So here we have 36 villes being replaced with celui. So there are two sentences. Au Nigeria, il y a 36 villes. Second sentence, celui qui est le plus développé est la ville de Lagos. 36 villes. Ville is a masculine word. That is why celui is being used. So celui here helps us to immediately understand that the noun that the speaker wants to specifically refer to is the 36 ville. So I could translate this in English like this. In Nigeria, there are 36 states. The one, celui, the one that is the most developed is the city of Lagos. Second example. J'ai 3 cours de nutrition ce semestre. Celui que je préfère est le cours de Madame Grasse. So we have the first sentence. J'ai 3 cours de nutrition ce semestre. Then, celui que je préfère est le cours de Madame Grasse. 3 cours. Cours is masculine, and that's why we're using celui. So celui here helps us to immediately understand that the speaker wants to make specific reference to the cause of Madame Grasse. Celui, that is, that which I prefer is the cause of Madame Grasse. That's simple. In my English translation here, I use my favorite. It's not the word for word translation, but it confers the same meaning anyway. Now we're moving to celle, the female variant. Our first example, let's see. À la réunion, la plus belle histoire était celle de Martin. At the meeting, the best story was Martin's. Celle here makes us understand that the speaker is making specific reference to the story of Martin. Celle, that is that of. So let's move to celle. So I said earlier, celle, this is the plural variant of celle without the S. So look at the example we have here. Les plus belles pages de la littérature française sont celles écrites par les poètes du 16e siècle. This is 16. When you see this, it means EM. The most beautiful pages of French literature are those written by the poets of the 16th century. Emphasis on those are those. These are those is represented in the French part here by Celle. We'll see our major point of concern, cell. The word page is feminine. That's why we are using the plural variant. Celle is being used to make specific reference to the most beautiful page being referred to by the speaker, the person making the sentence, because the most beautiful page is that written by the poets of the 16th CEUX. So that's what cell is used for here. So let's proceed. So another tip, another body of information: demonstrative pronouns can be followed by ci or la. This helps differentiate two or more elements in a context. So let's look at what they look like when we add the ci and la. So we have celui-ci, celui-là. I think intuition should tell you what this ci and la are performing in this different contexts. We have celui-ci, celle-là. Remember that celui is for masculine. Celui-ci, celle-là. Remember that celle is feminine. CEUX, celui-là. Remember that CEUX is the masculine plural. And then finally, celui-ci, celle-là. Celle is the feminine plural. So first sentence, we're trying to use celui-ci, celui-là. So let's look at the first sentence. Nous allons étudier 5 poèmes d'André Marvel aujourd'hui. Celui-ci est plus connu, celui-là est le plus difficile à expliquer. We are going to study 5 poems by Andrew Marvell today. This one is more popular, that one is the most difficult to explain. So celui-ci is performing the same function as a demonstrative pronoun, but in this instance it is more descriptive in the sense that it is telling you the exact pinpoint location. In this case, we have C, celui-ci, the one here, this one here. Then celui-là is like that one there, that one, as seen in this example. This one and that one. So that's the function of la and C. Another sentence, another example. Elle a deux voitures. Celle-ci est une modèle de Honda. Celle-là est une modèle de Kia. In this case, we're using cell because voiture is feminine. In as much as voiture here was plural, the subsequent sentence is trying to make reference to just one car. First, let's read the sentence anyway. Elle a deux voitures. Celle-ci est une modèle de Honda. Celle-là est une modèle de Kia. She has 2 cars. This one is a Honda model. That one is a Kia model. So this one, we're talking about one, and that's why we use cell, not cell, the plural form. We're using the singular form instead. So she has 2 cars. This one, celle-ci. This one is a Honda model. That one, celle-là, is a Kia model. So you see the function of the celle-ci here. That is, it's trying to pinpoint location. Another example. Les chats sont mignons, mais ceux-là sont encore plus adorables. Cats are cute, but those ones are even more adorable. Cat is a masculine word. If you want to pluralize it, then you have to use CEUX. Alright? If it was just one cat, it would be celui. CEUX, masculine plural, this, masculine singular. So let's continue. Cats are cute, but those ones are even more adorable. Ceux-là being referenced by those ones. Those ones, you can infer that the speaker is imploring you to look at somewhere, trying to show you the location of the cat he is talking about. Voila. So let's move on finally to invariable demonstrative pronouns. So invariable demonstrative pronouns are always singular and they're always masculine. They always refer to a concept or something. They do not refer to animate things, person or animal. The variable demonstrative pronouns can refer to people, they can refer to animals, living things. That's not the case with invariable demonstrative pronouns. They are invariable because they don't change. Even if the noun that they are trying to explain or make reference to are in plural form, they don't change. If they are feminine, they don't change. And here are the invariable demonstrative pronouns. We have ceci, cela, ça, and so. Ceci est mon livre préféré. This is my favorite book. Ceci est un cadeau pour toi. This is a gift for you. So from the speaker, from the sentence, you can infer that the speaker is trying to draw your attention to something close by. If I say this is my favorite book, like here, I'm probably holding a book to you or I'm pointing at a book close by. So si, always remember si means here. Cela means that. Cela, that, referring to something more distant. So, cela m'étonne vraiment. That really surprises me. That. Second example, cela étant dit, je dois voyager demain. That being said, I must travel tomorrow. Alright, cela, that. So, this is a cool expression. That being said, you should take note of it. Ceci étant dit, cela étant dit. Ceci étant dit, that is this being said. Cela étant dit, that being said. ... Fill in the gap. So we have ça with the cédille. Remember cédille is used instead of cela in everyday informal French. So this is like short form for cela. Alright? So you could see, donne-moi ça, give me that. Remember that it's informal. You don't use this in formal writing, formal presentations. Donne-moi ça, give me that.
Example number 2. Ça doit être comme un coup de foudre. That must be like love at first sight. So I'm giving you diamonds here. Coup de foudre means love at first sight. Coup de foudre literally translates to strike of lightning. I'm yet to study into the etymology as to how it relates to love at first sight, but that is what it means. So take note.
So finally, we have so and se apostrophe, pronounced se. Remember that demonstrative pronouns help us know what the speaker is specifically talking about. That's what so and se apostrophe will be doing here. So and se, these two are only used with the verb être. See it here, we only use so/se apostrophe with the verb être. They can also be used to start sentences. So we'll be looking at some examples. So before we move to the examples, it is important to note that se is the singular form usage of so and se apostrophe. So you should note that se with the verb être, like this, so is singular. That is, if you are talking about a singular thing, then ce sont is plural. Notice that so, in this second case, so, it doesn't change. That's why it is called invariable. Normally, some of you be wondering why this is not so with the s. We can't use se because se is an adjective and hence must be followed by a noun. Remember our adjective class? This is an adjective. C'est intéressant. C'est intéressant. There's a linkage here. It is interesting. It is interesting. It is. It's. Talking about one thing, not two. Hence, us using se. C'est intéressant. So most times when we see the use of demonstrative pronouns, most likely there must have been a preceding statement. C'est intéressant. What is interesting? Somebody must have said something. Perhaps he talked about a movie. Peut-être j'ai vu quelques vidéos il y a quelques semaines. Then somebody will be like, oh oui, c'est intéressant. That is, I watched some movies some weeks ago. I watched some videos some weeks ago. It's interesting. Then that is, c'est intéressant. It is interesting. What is interesting? The movie. Se means it is. This it is representing something, perhaps in a preceding statement. C'est ma voiture. C'est. C'est means it is, as I said earlier. It is a pronoun. It is my car. C'est ma voiture. And remember that demonstrative pronoun helps us to identify with specificity what the speaker is talking about. So it here points to voiture. It is my car. Perhaps somebody had mentioned car previously by saying, perhaps someone told you, regardez cette voiture. Regardez cette voiture, look at this car. And then he follows up with the statement, c'est ma voiture, it is my car. So it is the demonstrative pronoun here. And we'll come to the plural version. Let's wipe all these rockers. Plural, ce sont Valérie et Laurent. Ce sont Valérie et Laurent. They are Valerie and Lauren. They are. This one is it is. This one is they are. You can't say it are. No, that would be weird. Say ce sont, they are. I'm assuming into this. There's nothing like ce sont. You can never say this in French. Ce sont, because ce is an adjective and must be followed by noun. So ce, perhaps somebody said voilà ses enfants. That is, here are these children. And then he follows it up with the statement, ce sont Valérie et Laurent. They are Valérie and Laurent. Beyond all this commentary on grammar, you should at least grab something basic. When you see ce, it means it is. When you see ce sont, it means they are. Finally, the last sentence, ce sont mes livres. These are my books. Or they are my books. So finally, never use ce sont if it is to be followed by a self-standing adjective or adverb. By self-standing adjective, I mean an adjective that doesn't have follow-up comments after it. For example here, les échecs, c'est attendu. The failures, it is expected. So this is a self-standing adjective. So you don't say ce sont attendu. Likewise, in this second sentence, leurs vacances, c'est bientôt. You don't say ce sont bientôt. Once you see ce sont, you should be wary of using adjectives after it. If you must use adjective, then you must change this to c'est. And that's all for this class. I know it's a little bit confusing. Don't mobble yourself in the intricacies of grammar. You should be more interested in speaking. Make mistakes, correct yourself. You cannot be cautious. Speak, make mistakes, make egregious mistakes, and you will learn by correcting yourself. Thank you. See you in the next class.